It can't always be that Taylor Swift is being used. She can't always be being used. I'm sorry. It's been like 20 years of her being used, and I don't feel that that is the true story.
Hollywood's most shameless up-and-coming producer and forever C-list actress Blake Lively just hit a dead end. Her ex-bestie, the fire-breathing Taylor Swift, is over being used as her personal intimidation tactic. And this ain't just gossip. Taylor is officially letting it be known that she is not anybody's free pass. TMZ just dropped a scorcher of a report, and let's just say, Blake might need to go dragon hunting real quick. But whew, that's just the opening act. We have to talk about Colleen Hoover's completely out-of-touch return to social media and her straight-up delusional posts about this whole circus. Honestly, it's no shock why she and Blake ended up thick as thieves. These two, same mess, different fonts. And let's not forget about Ryan Reynolds, out here fake smiling through the chaos, setting up paparazzi moments and doing the absolute most to keep that nice guy act intact. This drama is moving at light speed, and these folks are hanging on for dear life.
It can't always be that Taylor Swift is being used. She can't always be being used. I'm sorry. It's been like 20 years of her being used, and I don't feel that that is the true story.
So Blake Lively just landed herself in a mess so big that even her overpriced PR team can't spin their way out of it. TMZ just dropped an exclusive, and let's just say, the former Gossip Girl is out here looking real desperate. Apparently, Taylor Swift has finally snapped out of it and realized Blake was treating her like some high-end designer bag. Flashy, expensive, and only useful for clout. Just last week, folks were speculating about tension between the C-list actress and the actual global superstar, with all kinds of reports flying around about their so-called issues. But of course, Blake's PR team wasted no time shutting it all down. But baby, a week is a long time in Hollywood. And by a lot, I mean TMZ just hit Blake with a headline so brutal, her hair probably started falling out on the spot, and not even her fancy hair products can fix it. Let's talk about that title for a second. Taylor Swift, Bad Blood with Blake Lively. I am not your dragon. Y'all, not the dragon. Taylor is heated about being dragged into Blake's behind-the-scenes drama, and she has no problem throwing her under the bus because, unlike Blake, she actually has a career to protect. Word on the street is that Taylor feels like Blake used her as a pawn in her ongoing beef with Justin Baldoni, and apparently, she was especially cringing over Blake calling her one of her dragons. Like, be serious. That whole thing was just embarrassing. Who even talks like that? Acting like she's Daenerys Targaryen when she's really just a glorified shampoo model. Now Taylor is out here spilling the whole friendship tea. And oh, let's not forget, remember when we found out Blake ain't never read It Ends With Us? Yeah, well, I'm starting to think she never watched Game of Thrones either, cause Khaleesi, she ended up hated, betrayed, and 6 feet under. So maybe not the best comparison. Or, hold up, maybe that's exactly how this whole mess finna end. Cause let's be real, folks already can't stand her. Now Taylor is finally giving us her version of what really went down at Blake's penthouse that night. According to Taylor's mouthpiece over at TMZ, she showed up at Blake's spot exactly when Blake told her to, completely clueless that anybody else was gonna be there. Meaning, Taylor ain't have a single idea that a whole meeting with Justin was going down. For those who missed it, Taylor talked about that key meeting Baldoni mentioned in his lawsuit against Blake. The one at Blake and Ryan Reynolds' fancy New York penthouse, where Justin pulled up to discuss that scene Blake went and rewrote for It Ends With Us. Now Justin has been saying the meeting got real tense, and he felt straight up ambushed cause Ryan and Taylor popped up out of nowhere. But now, Taylor is flipping the script, saying she was the one set up by Blake. And I mean, at this point, we all see Blake for what she is, a social climber who plays chess, not checkers. Taylor thought she was just stopping by for some light white girl chatter, and next thing she knew, she smacked in the middle of a heated showdown with Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake herself. A setup, if you will. But fans? Oh, they split on this one. Oh, Taylor has been in this industry way too long not to know when somebody trying to use her name for clout. At some point, she gotta let go of this whole woe is me act she is always throwing around. Cause in this case, Blake has been running this game for years, and they're more. The source says that Taylor is also just learning about this, like the time that she told a young actress that Taylor cast her, which simply did not happen. If Taylor is really done with this whole mess, good for her. Blake had a solid run finessing her way into Taylor's inner circle, locking down that godmother title for 2 of her kids, and writing her name for clout. But the jig is officially up. And y'all, that ain't even the half of it. Things might be getting way messier. TMZ out here stirring the pot again, now hinting that Taylor might get subpoenaed over all this drama. Oh, and they didn't stop there. TMZ even dropped a whole podcast. At this point, TMZ is doing the absolute most. Anyways, on that podcast, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, got asked straight up if they plan on subpoenaing Taylor for a deposition, and his response? Everybody who was there and got something useful for this case is getting deposed. So yeah, let's all take a moment of silence for the Taylor-Blake friendship. It was cute while it lasted, at least for Blake, but Taylor packed her bags and took off. Now I know Blake was losing her mind when she read that article. Sis is probably pacing back and forth in her Connecticut mansion, chugging iced lattes, and blowing up Ryan Reynolds' phone like, fix this now. And let's be real, we all know he is the one who started this whole mess. The plot thickens, y'all. More sources coming out left and right with completely different takes. One source close to Blake swears up and down that there's no bad blood and they still talk on the regular. Of course, this comes straight from Blake herself. Sis really out here stuck in deep denial. Another source apparently revealed that Taylor was pissed about the extent to which she was involved. And specifically, she was angry about the dragon's remark. But Blake has apologized. They had a good cry and hugged it out. I've been told y'all Blake's PR team is working overtime, but we peeped the game. Meanwhile, there's this poll floating around asking if Blake did Taylor dirty. And a whopping 81% are screaming yes, while the other 19%, me included, are just sitting here like, be for real. Taylor Swift is 35. And let's not act brand new like she ain't allegedly playing a whole role in pushing Justin to switch up that scene. Let's keep it a buck, not a butter knife. I don't know about y'all, but a whole lot of folks are shocked Taylor is just now catching on. And speaking of people still lost in the dark, guess who just popped out of the social media abyss like nothing ever went down? Our favorite flip-flopping author, Colleen Hoover, who swore she was done, deleted her Instagram, and had folks thinking she was hanging it up for good. Yeah, okay, turns out that was just another little attention stunt, cause she's back, but not where the general public can see her. Oh no, no, no. She tiptoed back onto Facebook, chilling on her private page where only her ride or die stans can eat up her every word. And y'all, she really got on there and said, I promise I can sleep at night with a peaceful heart. Girl, what? You publicly naked Justin Baldoni, who has been your friend for years, gassed Blake Lively with 0 receipts, and in your desperation for that Hollywood glow-up, you butchered your own book into a hot mess, and you slept just fine? Let's back it up real quick. In case y'all forgot, Colleen Hoover and Justin Baldoni used to be tight. He spent years bigging her up, telling her how much he loved her work, and swearing he'd do It Ends With Us right. She was all in, until Blake Lively and her plantation princess energy slid in, flexed that Hollywood power, and took over the whole thing. And instead of riding for Justin, Colleen did a full 180. She went from hyping up the movie with Baldoni to linking up with Blake for everything, acting like Justin wasn't even part of the picture. The switch-up was so blatant, folks started calling her out from every angle. And how did she handle that? By dipping. She scrubbed her IG, let folks believe she was retiring, and stayed ghost while people dragged her name through the dirt. But now, out of nowhere, she's suddenly good, happy, and unbothered. Oh, and don't worry, she made sure to let her fans know her beloved team is still clocking in, because in her own words, they would fire me before I fired them. Colleen, be serious. And the real kicker? She's out here flipping this into some mental health narrative. Like she wasn't just dodging accountability. Talking about leaving social media was some kind of self-care journey. Saying, I don't have social media on my phone anymore and I promise it's bliss. Girl, you ain't off social media for self-care. You dipped because the whole internet was eating you up for backing Blake and for the mess surrounding your son allegedly assaulting a minor. Let's not act brand new. What really sends me is how she's moving like she's above all this drama, when she's the one who started it. She turned her back on the only person who actually fought to do her work justice, disappeared the second things got messy, then popped back up weeks later like nothing happened. I know y'all not falling for Colleen's little peaceful heart fairy tale, and if you ain't seen my deep dive yet, you are missing out. I break down how she straight up snaked Justin Baldoni, tried to finesse him out of the rights to It Ends With Us using a sexual harassment clause, then played clueless when the backlash hit. The receipts are right there, and once you see them, you'll never look at her the same way. Do not let her gaslight y'all. Go run this video up and see Colleen Hoover's true colors in 4K, and just when y'all thought we were done exposing the fakes, buckle up, cause now we gotta talk about Ryan Reynolds' latest PR stunt that flopped harder than Colleen Hoover's victim act. While Colleen was out here wiping Instagram, Ryan was running the same tired playbook, except his move? A whole staged fan meetup. Like, sir, at least make it believable. So let's set the scene. Last Thursday, Ryan Reynolds just so happened to get caught outside the Paley Center in New York, surrounded by dozens of excited fans holding homemade Deadpool posters. At first glance, it's wholesome. Hollywood's favorite nice guy taking time out for the people, right? Wrong, because the internet wasted 0 time picking this apart. And y'all, the lies started crumbling instantly. First off, why did every fan have the exact same homemade sign? Like, I'm talking identical cardboard, the same colorful tape, the same layout. Almost like it was all whipped up by a bunch of interns at 20th Century Studios. And then somebody pointed out the shadiest part of all. Where were the phones? Y'all, it is 2025. Ain't no way a whole group of random fans just happened to run into Ryan Reynolds and not a single one thought to pull out their phone and record? No shaky IG live? No chaotic TikTok fangirl screaming, OMG, I just met Ryan Reynolds? Nothing? Yeah, that's because this wasn't a real fan moment. This was a fully orchestrated PR stunt to keep Ryan looking like Hollywood's humble golden boy, while the real drama behind the scenes was spiraling. That's how you know the legal mess is hitting them hard, because while Ryan was out here faking nice guy energy, his real focus should have been on the fact that Blake and Justin are literally battling it out legally over "It Ends With Us." And Ryan knows that. So now he's out here doing everything he can to keep y'all distracted. Because the second folks start looking too closely at what's actually going down between him, Blake, Justin, and the disaster Colleen left behind, that squeaky clean image is going to start looking real dusty. And just when y'all thought the PR games were done, Ryan hit y'all with another one, posting up with Blake like they're still solid as ever. Would have been cute, except plot twist. That pic was old. Yeah, while that whole power couple act was stronger than ever, Blake was actually out in the Bahamas. So the real question is, why is Ryan working this hard to convince y'all that everything's fine? And more importantly, what is he trying to hide? Whew, this was a lot to unpack. And if there's one thing we've learned, it's that Hollywood will do anything to keep up appearances, even when the truth is crumbling behind the scenes.